Oh, hey man. So I'm going to show you how you can easily optimize images for web. I am so from what I can see from your screenshot, see the image is still 500 kilobytes, which as you're aware is pretty big. And I can see the main reason contributing for this is the actual dimensions of the image is still 4,000 by 3,000 pixels, pretty much. But then you can see in here, it's got a width of 4.6 rem and a height of 4.6 rem, which is only about 80 by 80. The image, we can reduce a lot of the file size by just changing the dimensions and then compressing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into PhotoPay, which is just like a browser version of Photoshop. You can just go File, New. You can call the project whatever you want here. As this isn't the final image we'll be uploading. We know the dimensions is about 4,000 or 3,000 by 4,000. So we're just going to cut it down to about 400 by 600. No, we'll go by 500. You can then drag in your image into here and then just make sure it fits the artboard. Cool, that's looking good. And then we can go File, Export As. Now this is a image with a background, so therefore we want it to be a JPEG, because JPEG is going to be the most compressed image file there is. If this had no background, so it was just her with a transparent background, would go PNG. And then if she was an illustration for some reason, a vector illustration, would go SVG. But because it's a photo with a background, we go JPEG. Because I know I'm going to reduce the file size significantly still, we can put the quality on 100% to get a nice crisp image. And you can see down here that it's estimating it to be about that file size. And if I go save, and then I open up my downloads, there it is. You can see this image is now 115 kilobytes, which is about a tenth of this. And if I open it up, it's looking good. And then what we can do is actually take it one step further, because 100 kilobytes for that sort of image is still pretty big. Take it the tiny JPEG or tiny PNG, they both do the same thing. We can drag in that image I just created. And you can see it's now 29 kilobytes, a very nice lightweight file size. So yeah, something like this for mobile is an ideal. This for mobile is perfect. So instead of having to have an image for desktop and a desktop for mobile, we've got this small enough that we can just have it one image for all devices. And as you can see, the quality hasn't been lost too much. Sometimes this method you can lose the quality. And if that happens, if you're ever getting it where the images are losing all their quality, contact me and I'll make you a video about how to reduce the file size. Not as much, but you won't lose as much quality. We then want to rename this file, and I'm just going to call it what you had it here, because that was a good name, community member images. But we'll call it community member image. And then, yeah, there you go. I've now taken the image from 11 megabytes down to 29 kilobytes. So yeah, that should be pretty straightforward. You can do the same thing here with, I think that's your header image on this page. So yeah, see how it's about 5,600 by 3,700. It's a hero image, so you'd want it fairly large still. So you could just half these two. That's going to half it, and then if you compress it in here, it's going to reduce significantly. Let me know how you get on with this one. This hero image, you want to aim for 200 kilobytes and below. Pretty much anything where you're not getting this warning here on the Webflow website. Although you don't get it on this one. Yeah, so you want to aim for even lower than this. I'd be aiming for yeah, aim for below 200 kilobytes. Anything below kind of 400 kilobytes is probably acceptable for this header image. Any images like this should really be below 100 kilobytes, and then any kind of, like, if that was a whole image, you would want it below 200 kilobytes. But you always want to aim for the smallest possible without losing quality.